Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time, in case you are new and don't know exactly how we do it here. We start a few minutes early so the folks at home can log on to their computers, check the sound and so forth. So for the next few minutes, please enjoy John Shepard at the piano.
I agree with everything he said.
Join me as we light the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We light the beacon of hope,
sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
And as the chalice is lit, may we use this time to settle our hearts and settle our minds, so we might be able to find depth in what we do here today. Thank you. So with a guest, we're always guessing at what comes next. Go ahead, Dr. Thomas. Thank you.
All right, and I guess I'd like to go ahead. I'd like to go. Should I use a different mic? I'd like to play a piece of music now called From Silence.
Can't hear.
This is off. Yeah. I'd like to play a piece of original music now called From Silence. And the whole idea with this music is that our lives emerge from silence and return again to silence. The silence contains the infinite potential of awakening, of understanding our true nature, of being a force for healing and wisdom in our world. So please allow the music to take you on an inner journey. This is called From Silence, and I dedicate it to the healing of all of our relations. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tuttle. I was enjoying watching John watch you at that moment. Even through your sunglasses, I could tell you were impressed. My name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. Welcome this morning. Thank you for taking a dare to come and be a part of this service. If you're a guest or a visitor, you'll have an opportunity in just a few moments, if you're willing to stand and give us your name and your area that you live, that we might continue to build relationships with each other. There's also a number of announcements that need to be made. Gary Green, you want to do that? Yeah, come on up. This is one of those fun middle of March announcements that needs to be made.
Hi, I'm Gary Green, Chairman of the Buildings and Grounds Committee. I have two topics. One, as the spring weather comes, the grass is going to grow, and that means it has to be cut. So if there are people who love cutting grass, those positions are open. Just please let me know. But the inevitability is that is not going to happen. A stipend has been approved for hopefully a high school or college student who would be interested in earning some money. And if anyone knows of such person or persons, please let me know. I'd appreciate it. Secondly, yesterday we had a landscaping cleanup, otherwise known as the Lawn and Order event. And it was a fantastic event. We had some wonderful volunteers and did some really fun things like raking, like dragging around dead branches, picking up garbage. But we had, if you look around, the result is amazing, and I think everyone who volunteered, you know, their precious time deserves a round of applause.
So Gary and I just had a committee meeting. As most of you know, we're under some weather warnings, and we're going to ask that if you would please keep your phones on, but on silent, but just keep them in front of you in case something surprises us. And also to begin to think about where you might go should we find ourselves in the middle of something completely unexpected, like the men's room, the women's room, the offices and those things. Just be prepared if you have to do that. This isn't the first time that I've had to speak to a congregation in the middle of a mess like this, and it's a little uncomfortable. At the same time, if we don't think about it, then we won't be thinking about it. So be prepared for that. Leslie Haas, I believe you have an announcement, and then I'm going to turn this over to Ellen and David in a second.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Use the other mic.
No, it's on.
It's on. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, now you can hear me. Just a quick announcement, yay! Annual Stewardship Dinner is coming up at the end of this month. So we have sign-up sheets in the lobby. Please sign up today. We're also going to have an email sign-up. So get the names on the list, and we're going to be growing together, planting seeds for our future. We're going to have a lot of good food. You don't have to cook this time. And there's going to be live music and comedy. So hope to see you there.
What is the date?
The date, March 29th, that's Saturday, March 29th. Thank
It's
you.
here.
Yes, it's here. 6 p.m.
How much?
$20 per person, and you don't have to bring food unless we decide to maybe, well, there'll be more information about that, but there might also be a big carrot cake. Stay tuned.
Carrot cake is my favorite. Hi, everybody. I'm Kathleen from the membership committee. One of the services we provide is when you join, we assign you a buddy who is just a first friend. It doesn't have to become a best friend. It's a person who, for a new member, you can call and find out what's going on. I don't understand about building and grounds. Do I have to work when I'm here? So we are in search of some buddies. Now, if you were on the buddy list in the past, we're starting over again, so you can sign up again. We have 7 new members who will be joining us next Sunday at our new members ceremony, and we only have 3 buddies signed up. So we have a kind of a big need for at least 4 more buddies. The sign-up sheet is on the table. It's an easy job. All you have to do is be friendly and maybe be nice to the new member. That's all.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Rosenberg, and I'm the chairman of Nothing. But I would like to tell you a little bit about the upcoming UUCL talent show, which it will be happening soon. If you have already signed up, it would be really great if you would see Anne or Joanne to be very specific about your act, because we cannot have 5 of you playing the full-length version of Inagata Devita. However, if you haven't signed up, we would love for you to do that, because sharing talent builds community. And I know that some of you are not auditory learners. I know some of you are visual learners. So to help you get the information you need about the talent show, I want to let you know that it's going to happen in April, coming right up. It will happen on a Saturday. The date of that Saturday is the 5th of April. And the time of that event is 7 p.m. So make sure you're there. What's up, Ellen? Ellen, what's up?
Is this the talent show?
All right, let's help Ellen out.
This isn't the talent.
When does the talent show?
What month is it?
April.
What day of the week is it?
Saturday.
What's the number?
7.
What time?
7.
I'll be back.
We'll see you then. Thanks, everybody.
I'm usually not afraid to ask this question, but are there any other announcements? You go 10 feet. I think. Yes, okay, thank you.
I'm Rosemary, this is Tina, and we are having for Bluffton Self-Help is having a big Easter food drive for Easter, and the deadline is April 11th. They're trying to collect whole chickens, ham, a lot of fresh food, but there are some brochures out in the lobby so you'll know what to get. And also, if you pick up a brochure, you will get on recycled paper call cannon recipe, which is a side dish full of Vidalia onions, gold potatoes, cream cheese, butter, and cabbage. So that sounds like a great thing to make for today. That's the recipe.
That's only on one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't.
It's all recycled or reused paper.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to know the call cannon recipe, I have it.
Now, for those of you that are guests and visitors and you're still here, I'd like to ask if you are willing to stand and just give us your name and tell us where you're from. That would be helpful. So I'm looking at the side over here, my far right, your left. Any first or second time guests? Yes, ma'am. Welcome. Good to have you. Yes, ma'am.
I'm from Kansas City visiting my mom.
I'm just now seeing Linda Klingman. Good to see you. Anybody in the center that's first time guest or visitor?
Nancy O'Sullivan, Bluffton.
Welcome. Yes.
Philip Searcy, this is my wife Sydney and my son Luca. We're here in Bluffton.
Welcome. Anybody else in the middle? For Ms. O'Sullivan, On this day, thank you for bringing your Irish name into the room. Appreciate it. And on my far left, your right, any first or second? Yes, ma'am, if you would please.
Good morning. I'm still Kathleen, and this is my sister Mary Ann, who's visiting from Brattleboro, Vermont.
Welcome. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I'm Sherry Dixon. I was here last week and I liked it so much I came back.
Thank you. Have I missed anyone? Please raise your hand. All of you that are here, you should know that the universe has conspired to bring you into one of the most compassionate, mercy-filled group of people that I have ever known. You will find yourself honored and valued here, and that those of you who are here on a journey, we can walk together. So thank you for your presence. And are you going to introduce Will here now or later? Later. Okay, thank you. Dr. Tuttle, if you would please, your opening words.
Well, good morning. I'd like to share the opening words, and these are taken from my book, The World Peace Diet. And here we go. Two contemporaries, 2,500 years ago in India, Mahavira, founder of the Jain tradition, and Gautama Buddha, preached the fundamental spiritual necessity of cultivating an attitude of ahimsa, or non-harmfulness, in their followers' relations with both humans and animals. The Buddha says, for example, in the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, quote, "Eating meat destroys the attitude of great compassion." The 12th century Tibetan Buddhist poet Saint Milarepa sings, quote, "Accustomed long to contemplating love and compassion, I have forgotten all difference between myself and others." The 7th century Christian mystic St. Isaac the Syrian asks, quote, "What is a charitable heart? It is a heart which is burning with love for the whole creation, for men, for the birds, for the beasts, for all creatures. He who has such a heart cannot see or call to mind a creature without his eyes being filled with tears by reason of the immense compassion which seizes his heart, a heart which is softened and can no longer bear to see or learn from others of any suffering, even the smallest pain being inflicted upon a creature. That is why such a man never ceases to pray for the animals, moved by the infinite pity which reigns in the hearts of those who are becoming united with God." Thank you.
And now, if you would please take your hymnals into your hands and turn with me, if you would, to hymn number 20, hymn number 20. And may we stand and sing the 3 verses of Be Thou My Vision.
Be thou
Okay?
Okay. I want to thank all of you who have brought non-perishables that we will donate to the Sandalwood Food Pantry and Bluffton Self-Help. If you haven't done so already, please place them on the table in the back of the sanctuary. And now we will do the collection to sustain this place, this wonderful place, and our work in the greater community. If you are a first or second time visitor, please let the plate pass as your presence here is your gift to us today. Thank you for your ongoing generosity.
Now is the time when we make announcements and political statements. You are awake. Now's the time we share our joys and concerns. When we share our joys, their effect is multiplied. When we share our concerns, the burden is shared among us. So if you would share a joy or concern, come up, take a stone from the basket, share your joy or concern, and place the stone in the cairn.
Welcome back.
You guys are so wonderful.
We love you. Missed you. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Betsy, and I am so grateful. I had a stroke about 3 weeks ago, and the neurologist at the hospital told me that I had had 3 strokes in different parts of my brain. When I went into the hospital, I couldn't speak. I couldn't make any sense, and I couldn't read. And the next day I woke up and I saw Charlie Tyler there, and I seemed to be fine. I could speak, I seemed to be able to understand what was written. So I am so grateful, and grateful for this guy who was there all the time and who called 911. And grateful to all of you. I have a stack of cards this high, and with such loving and encouraging words in them. And Carol Stevens and her band of chefs, which included all of you, food came to the house, and not only was it food, it was gluten-free, and it was vegetarian. So Mike and I were fed. We didn't have to worry about that. And it was just wonderful. You guys are the very best. The very best. Compassion and love and support. And I'm just so thankful for you. Thank you.
My name is Rebecca Knapp. I am the daughter of Linda Klingman. I wanted to share our gratitude to this congregation. My stepdad passed about a week and a half ago, and my sisters and I have been here with my mom, but similar. The number of cards and the food that showed up at the door and the calls and the just outpouring of love and affection from this congregation was remarkable. So thank you for that. And also just, sorry, at my church we do candles, and I said this is a candle of this and this is a candle of this, so I'm a little thrown off, but also my metaphorical candle for peace from my mom. It's been a hard couple weeks, but this congregation has really helped. So thank you.
I'm sharing this concern on behalf of my daughter Maya, who shared the concern with me this morning, and then she got swooped away. So I know it's on her heart, so I wanted to share it. My brother's dog, is getting surgery, and she's worried about his teeth. So I just wanted to share the concern from her to you.
I'll place 2 stones in the cairn for any joys or concerns that have been unspoken, and 1 for the people, families and children who have been affected by gun violence.
So good morning, and my name's Ann Harrison. If you don't know me, I'm the Director of Faith Development here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country. And it's my privilege it's our privilege to have Dr. Will Tuttle and his wife Madeleine here with us today. They live in Northern California. They are on a 5-month tour. They are speaking in Jacksonville at 4 o'clock this afternoon. If you are not familiar with Dr. Will Tuttle, he is the visionary author of many books, perhaps most famously the international bestseller called The World Peace Diet, which the opening words came from this morning. It is a book which encourages us to make dietary choices with compassion. Will was featured in the documentary called Cowspiracy. Some of you may have seen that, which explored the impact of animal agriculture on the environment. He received his Ph.D. from the University of California, Berkeley, and he's taught college classes in creativity, comparative religion, and philosophy. He's a former Zen monk and Dharma Master in the Zen tradition, and he's been the recipient of multiple prestigious awards that are too numerous to mention. Besides the World Peace Diet, he has written over a dozen other books, including Your Inner Islands, Daily Inspirations, Bursting Light, and Buddhism and Veganism. These books are for purchase in the foyer. You'll see at the table on your way out. And yesterday afternoon, Will gave a talk here at UUCL called Healing Our World, a deeper look at food. He helped us explore some of the hidden aspects of food systems in our culture and how they impact us, and he gave us a glimpse into how we can build what he calls radiant health. Will is here this weekend with his wife Madeleine. Behind every great man, there is a great woman. And she is an artist from Switzerland. You can see much of her, some of her artwork on display here. Her lovely watercolor paintings bring nature and animals to life, and they serve to enhance the message that Will delivers. Not only is she a gifted artist, she's a Waldorf teacher, an organic gardener, and a vegan chef. And if that's not enough, she also plays the silver flute. Unfortunately, she's not playing that flute today. She's recently had some dental work, and she's not able to play the flute, at least for another couple of months until things heal up. But we will not be without music. Will is an acclaimed pianist, composer, and recording artist. He's been sharing his original piano music with people around the world for the past 30 years. And he will play for us today. And it has been said, well, he already has, so you've had a taste. It's been said that he's a master at recreating the deepest vibrations of the soul, and that his music evokes deep feelings and a sense of wonder, joy, and adventure. He offers us his uplifting music as a way to celebrate the beauty of the earth and to bring us the potential of our spirit. He plays for freedom, healing, and the happiness of every being. It's a joy to have Will and Madeleine Tuttle with us, especially on this dark and rainy morning, because their words and actions are based on the truth that all of life is interconnected, and that we live in a world where equality and justice, harmony, sustainability, and freedom are possible. These values are deeply shared by Unitarian Universalists, which makes us very proud to have them here with us. So please help me give a warm Bluffton welcome to Dr. Will and Madeleine Tuttle.
I'd like to invite us all to join in a time of meditation. Let's become aware of our breathing. With every exhalation, allowing ourselves to relax into this present moment. Letting go of any thoughts of the past or the future. Entering this present moment, the only holy moment is right now. We give thanks for this precious opportunity of a human birth, for this opportunity to grow in wisdom and compassion, and to work together to build a more enlightened society. We give thanks for this beautiful sanctuary where we are gathered, knowing that it is a manifestation of the inner sanctuary where we dwell always, in unity with the infinite love that is the source of all life. We give thanks for all of the teachings of all the traditions that turn our minds away from the delusion of separateness to the truth of the infinite interconnectedness of life. We give thanks for all of the teachers in our life, for this community, for the whole human family, and for this beautiful earth and for all of the living beings that call the earth their home. We especially give thanks for all of the birds and other animals that live in the skies and the air, for all of the fishes and other animals inhabiting the waters of the earth, and all of the animals on the earth, on the land, celebrating their lives. We give thanks knowing that the light that shines at the very heart of the universe is shining right now in our heart. Bringing every dimension of our life into alignment with our purpose. Filling our mind and heart with an understanding of our true nature. And so we take a moment now to just allow the music to deepen our connection with the purpose that we are here to fulfill. And taking just a few moments now together in the sacred space of silence. So we see the whole earth now bathed in the light of peace, harmony, abundance, freedom, joy, loving kindness, compassion, truth. May all beings be happy and at peace. May all beings be free. May we all realize the original brightness of our minds and hearts. And may we continue together to build a more enlightened society, a world that cares for everyone, a world that reflects the truth of the inner light that shines always at the very core of our being. Through the power and presence of the infinite Spirit, we give thanks, knowing this is so, and so it is. thank you all for joining together in the meditation. I'd like to play just a short piece of music before we go into the talk. This is called Bursting Light. And it's an original piece. And again, dedicating it to creating a field of peace and harmony surrounding our beautiful sanctuary and into the community and into our world. Enjoy. This is Bursting Light. Thank you again for creating this beautiful space of love and healing. And I'd like to talk about, the title of it is Heart Teachings on the Dharma Path. How many of you are familiar with the word Dharma in the Buddhist tradition? Some of you? It's a word that means teaching. And in the Buddhist tradition, there's the idea of the three jewels. And the three jewels are the three essential aspects of the teachings. And they're the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So Buddha represents what we would call the inner light, and in Christian terms sometimes they would say the inner Christ, the eternal dimension of our being that is unborn and undying. And it's the Buddha nature that we're essentially doing the best we can to awaken to. The Dharma is the teachings that help us to awaken the Buddha nature. So the teachings of the Buddha, the teachings that have come down through the centuries, that's the Dharma. And the Sangha is the community of those who are interested in awakening their true nature to be a light in the world of healing and peace. And so one of the things I think that's very interesting is that the Sangha, the community, is considered actually the most important of all. The Buddha said, without the Sangha, there will be no Buddha and no Dharma. So it's really, I think, incumbent upon us to take it seriously, this idea that we're here on this earth really for just a short time. And it goes by very quickly, as you probably are starting to realize, everyone. In fact, there's a great story Madeleine and I sometimes reflect on. Not too long ago, a couple of years ago, they interviewed apparently the oldest living human being, a woman from Japan, who was 119 years old, according to her birth certificate. And they said, "What's it like to be 119 years old?" And she said, "It just went by so fast." So no matter what we do, it goes by quickly. And so this is the essential teaching, is that our life goes by quickly, and we're on this earth really for a few precious decades. How do we awaken out of the delusion that seems so pervasive in our world? How do we connect with the inner wisdom that can guide us, this inner guidance system, to live a life that reflects peace and harmony and justice and freedom, creativity and awareness and compassion? And this is the great question. You know, Krishnamurti said something I think very important. He said, "It is not a good idea to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." And we, of course, all would like to be well adjusted to our society, right? We're very tribal. We want to fit in. We want to eat what they eat and think what they think and all agree on everything, except Unitarians, of course. But I mean, everybody else isn't. But the basic idea is we're very tribal, so we look in terms of how we can fit in. And what I'm talking about today, actually, is these heart teachings on the Dharma path. The core teachings, really, of how do we live a life that contributes to the solution of the problems that are here on this earth, rather than merely being part of the problem. And I think, really, quite honestly, if we're born here into this world and we fail to ever question the underlying narratives of our society, in many ways we can live our entire life and have our kids and have our career and not do all these things, but in many ways not really contribute to the deep solutions to the problems we're having, but in many ways kind of carry them on. And so in my research, I discovered over the years that there's a core in our culture that is almost universally ignored and not looked at, because it's, in many ways, it's the shadow, the cultural shadow. Carl Jung talked about the shadow, and he said the shadow is what you are, what we are, but which we say, no, we're not that, but they are. And we always sort of reduce our awareness and then see it in others. And so we say, yeah, we're good, we're kind, we're loving, we're caring people, we like a good steak, we like to have some cheese, but there's these other people over there, and they're dangerous, and they're heartless, and we got to protect ourselves from them. And we don't realize that in many ways we're reducing our awareness, and we're very often projecting what we've reduced onto others, and so we build our weapons and we have our conflicts. And the whole idea, I think, in many ways in spirituality, is to enter into silence. Because the thing that I think really, I know in many ways has been universal in my life, is the chattering mind. Like, we have this mind and it's going. My old Zen teacher said, it's like having a popcorn popping machine and you can't find the off switch. It's just always got another thought, another feeling, what I wish I would have done, what I wish they should have done. If they wouldn't have done, then I would have. But then if they didn't, I would have, and we're on. And what are we going to have for lunch? It's like, so we're going along like this. And we get up in the morning and this goes through the whole day. And so I think what we discover in a certain sense is that if we can take time every day to do our best to quiet our mind. How many of you have what you feel is a regular daily spiritual practice of some kind? Anybody? I hope? Yeah. I really highly recommend something that you take some time every day to connect with nature, connect with your inner silence, your breathing perhaps, read spiritual books, something that brings you inspiration and can somehow stop the flood of ongoing mental commentary. And it's not easy, I have to say. I mean, it's a practice. It's like anything, you know, like playing the piano, for example. And there's a great word. Madeleine and I kind of use this word now and then. The word is discipline. Don't you love that word? No, we don't love it. Discipline, we have a new way of saying discipline. Instead of the D, you replace that with BL. Blisscipline. Why do I say that? Because, you know, in many ways, we look at discipline as something that is negative. But I think it's really positive. Practice, the word practice. Like if you want to become good at something, what do we need to do? Practice, right? So it's the same thing with our mind. You know, I was born, my father played the piano. I was the oldest child. I saw him playing. He was good. He played Gershwin, you know, and he played the jazz and blues standards of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and he had his own dance band before I was born. So he was good. And I said, Dad, I want to play the piano. And he said, yeah, all you got to do is practice. You know? And so at a certain point, I started taking lessons from him and then from other teachers, and I had to mark on the chart on the kitchen that I did my 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you know, every day, and other kids were playing, and I was doing my practicing. But the thing that I'm so grateful, I have to say, for that, because that discipline that I undertook, because I really wanted to develop an ability to play the piano, that discipline created, and I have to say, a bliss. I mean, the joy of freedom to be able to sit at the piano and close my eyes and play and have melodies and harmonies and rhythms come through and send out feelings that are in a non-verbal way that no one can argue with, right? You know, to play music, it's been a fantastic, I mean, a tremendous blessing that brought me my wonderful wife, the greatest gift I ever had, Madeleine. I played the piano in Switzerland, and here she is, you know. But so the whole idea, though, is that we have the capacity to practice and develop an ability in something. Like the grand piano, like in a sense, it's like our mind is this beautiful grand piano that we're all given one at birth. This beautiful, amazing grand piano that we can create unbelievably beautiful melodies on. The problem is, in many ways, we're not taught how to really play this piano skillfully. The example we have from the people around us, our mother and father and relatives and neighbors and friends and everybody, maybe they're just kind of banging on the keys most of the time, spilling beer and wine into the action, you know. And so we don't really learn how to use our mind in a way that brings forth beauty. And we can practice. We can actually practice and develop the ability to have a mind that is our best friend. And to connect with an inner guidance system. There's no greater friend we can ever have than an inner knowing that we can learn to connect with that will guide us to live our unique life. It doesn't mean our life will always be easy, but it'll be our life, not somebody else's. But we're raised in a society, we're little sponges, we just soak everything up, and we want to be like these images that we're given, these masks, you know, be like them and then you'll be successful. Buy that kind of car, have that kind of relationship, and then you'll be something. So we are bombarded with these messages that are really toxic in a sense. They take us away from this inner guidance system that connects us with our true nature. So by practicing inner silence, by practicing listening, by taking time every day to go within, then we begin to connect with this deeper understanding. And one of the things I've discovered over the years is that our routine mistreatment of animals for food in our society is so pervasive, and yet it's invisible. It's the shadow that I referred to earlier. And we don't really like to acknowledge it. We don't like to hear anybody talk about this. But what I realize is the thing about the shadow is it's the thing we most don't want to hear about, but it has the greatest gift for us in terms of liberation. Liberation of ourselves and liberation of all of us, health and sustainability and freedom and justice and all these things are available. The problem is, when I used to teach, as we heard earlier, college courses in comparative religion. So I've taught courses in all the world religions, and I just really love doing that because they're really great. The world religions have an enormous amount of wisdom in them, and they all agree, more or less, on the foundational principles. The two main foundational principles in all the world religions, you can see really my two fingers here. One is the golden rule. That's everywhere. When Madeleine and I were in Chufu, China, south of Beijing, We went there many times to share the message of the World Peace Diet, and Chufu is the headquarters, in the sense it's where Confucius lived. So you've heard the Confucian religion. Confucius has many sayings, and one of the main ones he said right at the beginning was, "Do not do to others what you would not want to have done to yourself." The golden rule is in all the world religions. Don't do to others what you would not want to have done to yourself. That fundamental thing. We apply that to human beings, more or less. I mean, we're supposed to, and if we don't, we get sued or attacked or something. But what about animals? What about ecosystems? What about future generations? What about those who don't really have anyone to defend them? So the golden rule, what we do to cows and pigs and chickens and turkeys and ducks and geese and sheep and goats and so forth, fishes, these animals, is beyond the most nightmarish, horrific violence you could imagine. And we do it routinely and relentlessly without even paying attention, like it's just business as usual. We have this curtain up, we don't look behind it, and we just order our food and we eat it, and we just think it's good food for good people. But behind that curtain, there's all kinds of atrocities being committed, and we're not only taking out our wallet and paying for that, which is what causes it to happen, all that violence, not only to the animals, but to the workers who have to stab animals or impregnate them on rape racks, do all this horrific sexual violence and brutality. We not only do that, but then we turn around and we actually eat that violence. We eat it, and we're building basically this beautiful temple that is the temple of the spirit, with bricks of violence and toxicity and harm. And you would think we would not do that. We'd think if we're building this temple, which is the only one we have for this lifetime to express love and joy and creativity and healing and kindness, we would want to use bricks of beauty, of organically grown fruits and vegetables that come from sustainable situations. So this is something that's just, in a sense, it's not our choice. It's something that's been foisted upon us. We've all been wounded. I grew up the same way, eating these foods. And so the whole idea is to realize that when we don't go along with these two teachings, one is, like I said, the golden rule. We're harming others. We're doing to them what we would definitely not want to have done to ourselves, what we definitely not want to have done to our pet, the dog or cat. That'd be the worst thing. If someone came along and said, "Boy, your dog looks really good. How about $4 a pound? Maybe I want to make some dog soup." You'd say, "No, no, 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 no." But when I was a Zen monk in Korea, I can tell you, that's what they do. They buy and sell dogs by the pound. And I remember talking to these people, and they say, well, you do something much worse. You buy and sell cows by the pound. I mean, those are magnificent animals. How could you ever do that? So it's very cultural, the whole thing. But the idea is that just to try to see the point of view of these other living beings. There's a great poem by Shel Silverstein. The poem goes like this: Thanksgiving dinners sad and thankless, Christmas dinners dark and blue, when you stop and try to see it from a turkey's point of view. Sunday dinner isn't sunny, Easter feasts are just bad luck, when you stop and try to see it as a chicken or a duck. Oh, how I once loved tuna salad, steak and lobster, lamb chops too, till I stopped and looked at dinner from the dinner's point of view. So the whole idea is to just do the best we can to stop, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's just to stop our mind, to listen in silence, because in silence, anything's possible. If I'm playing the piano, I'm going along, and there's like this whole series of notes, it's going to lead into something else. If I stop, a whole new thing can happen. We can make a whole new leap in another direction. We can begin to be part of a solution rather than just continuing on the same old song. And then the other main teaching in all the world religions, besides the golden rule, is whatever you sow, so shall you reap. And this is something we don't seem to figure out, really. I mean, we can't figure out why we have continual war and injustice and disease, and it's getting like worse, right? Well, what are we doing to animals? Killing them by the millions every day, selling them by the pound, forcing them into disease, mass medication. As you sow, so shall you reap. If we want to have a world of freedom and justice for ourselves, why don't we give a world of freedom and justice to these billions of animals who are in our hands, who would love us to let them live their lives as they did for millions of years in the beauty of nature, and we don't. We crush them. And it's unnecessary. I mean, here I am. I have not had any animal foods since 1980, so 45 years. I haven't died yet of a protein deficiency or calcium deficiency. So that's the thing. Every nutrient that finds its way into the flesh or of animals or dairy products or eggs comes from plants. So plants can feed all of us on a fraction of the land, a fraction of the resources of water and petroleum, environmental devastation. We don't have to have workers that stab animals all day. We don't have to have hungry people. We're growing enough food every year to feed 15 to 20 billion people, but we have roughly almost 1 billion people chronically hungry because most of the food we grow, instead of feeding it to the hungry people, we feed it to unpersoned cows and pigs and chickens, and they convert most of it to saturated fat, cholesterol, acidifying and inflammatory animal protein, and nitrous oxide and waste. And so it's just sewage that's devastating and causing eutrophication of the waterways and dead zones and all kinds of problems to the environment. So the one thing we can do to really reduce our environmental footprint is to move to an organic, whole, plant-based way of eating. I mean, that is powerful. That really reduces our footprint more than anything. And it reduces not only our footprint of violence towards the environment, but towards our society and towards our body. We actually start to eat clean, nutritious food, and we'll have much more energy and be. I mean, the research is really clear on this. I'm not the only one. I haven't actually gone to a drugstore to get any medication since the early 1970s, 50 years. And it's a weird thing to say. People say, how is that possible that you could go 50 years with never going to a drugstore or a doctor or anything? And I say it's easy. I haven't had a television for 50 years. But the basic idea is if we can just begin to question some of the official narratives, we can create a world of freedom and peace for ourselves. I'm just now noticing the time, so I better wrap it up. I'm sorry, I'm already over time. But I want to thank you for the efforts that you're making for creating such a beautiful community of kindness and love for each other and for animals and for ecosystems and for future generations. I'll just close with this little brief story. You know, I was born and raised in Concord, Massachusetts. I learned to swim in Walden Pond. I was born in Emerson Hospital, went to Thoreau School, Alcott School. I mean, I am Unitarian to the core. And I think, you know, this is a movement that really is a pioneering movement, and to bring this ancient wisdom of compassion for all living beings into our society, it'd be the greatest gift we could ever give to our children and to animals and to future generations, because it creates the foundation for peace and freedom and justice for ourselves. So I want to just close with a piece of music. Can we do that now? Is that ready to go?
Yep.
And this is a piece of music that I'm going to play that was inspired by a little mouse where we live in we used to live in Northern California. And I'd like you to just you can just look at the image. These are animals celebrating their lives. The piece of music was inspired by a mouse. We had mice in our house, so I would catch them and then let them go across on the other side of a little stream below the house and hope they didn't come running back into our house again. And one day I had this mouse on our piano and I started playing a little music for her, and this melody came out. So I'll share with you the melody for the mouse, because I think Walt Whitman said, and even a mouse is enough to stagger sextillions of infidels. So this is really, I think when we look deeply into nature and into the animals of this earth, we see so much beauty, and they have a lot to teach us, I think, as well. So enjoy the music, and let's see, I guess, are we ready to start? See how this goes here. It's music, and here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So Will and his wife need to be on the road to Jacksonville by about 12, so they can be there at 4. So I'm going to make an executive decision. Please don't throw anything at me. We're going to remove or delete the hymn, Let It Be a Dance, so that we can have some time to talk back. So if we can, let me remind you about the talk back. Those of you that are guests and visitors, one of the things that's unique to our fellowship is that we meet back here in a few minutes to ask questions and to consider the nature of the message that the speaker has brought. And we kind of interact with each other, and it's one of the ways that we can find the compassion and the mercy and the respect that we have with each other. And so I'd encourage you, if you're a guest, please stay and just listen or join if you'd like to. I also want to thank those of you who were guests and visitors today. Cindy, Rebecca, Nancy, Philip, Savannah, Luca, Marianne, and Sherry. The 8 of you, I think, has really been a privilege to have you here, and I hope this has been a meaningful time for you. And Dr. Tuttle, if you would please, your closing words. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you again, all of you, for your kind attention. And I'd like to close with a short piece of music. This is called Dance for the Arctic Moon. It's dedicated to the sacred feminine dimension of consciousness. And the underlying message, really, I'd like all of us to do our best to bring forward into the world is the message of loving the beautiful, unique being that we are, the beautiful creation around us, those that are vulnerable, and to do our best to connect with our inner guidance system, to lead us in a path with a heart, a path of caring and kindness for all expressions of life, knowing that we are one with all living beings. And so this piece of music, dedicated to the sacred feminine dimension, as I said, in the Greek tradition, that was Sophia. Sophia is the inner wisdom of kindness and caring, and it dwells within all of us. So the moon represents the feminine, the Arctic represents the north going within. This is Dance for the Arctic Moon. Enjoy, and let the music please take you on an inner journey in honor of the sacred feminine.
extinguish the chalice. While we extinguish the flame, we still burn in our hearts
the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment, until we are together again.